Hey guys, welcome to another Mobile Geeks video. This is Dalhmann.
And this is Nicole Scott.
And we are in Bozen in the Audi A4, the brand spanking new one, 2020 gorgeous car. And we are going to test a few things for you today. The ease of connectivity with the infotainment system and our smartphones, the navigation system, and voice. So we're going to begin by seeing how easy it is to connect our phones to play music. So I think Don's going to kick it off.
Yeah, I have my phone. I have the cable ready, of course. Yeah, I mean, one thing maybe to start with, this version that we have here of the entertainment system is a version that you know from the A8, A7, and I think also the new A6. The thing here is we will come to a few issues. What you can see here is like the big screen. It's a nearly 10-inch screen, but looks like a bit like a tablet that is mounted to the dash. But this is like more for the basics. But this is basically a new version because in the other cars that I named, you have like two displays. And we will come to the...
Audi had evolved the infotainment system to go across a few displays. And then in the A4, still the new MMI, but packed into one.
Exactly.
So this is one of the things that we're going to be looking at because it's a little bit of a problem for us.
It's a bit of a problem in the end. But yeah, first of all, what you need is, of course, your connecting cable, which is like the normal USB and then the USB-C. And you can just plug it in here. There is one, and then you just connect the phone to the system. And at the same moment...
do we want to do Android Auto or MMI?
I don't have Android Auto installed, so I go for the MMI.
And Android Auto is universal across all systems that you use it on. We're here for the MMI.
Exactly. So that's it, and that's what happened. So I have it now on my phone. It says only charging. I can say yes, only charging, and that's it. What I can do now is like for example, use my Spotify and play all the music or the podcasts.
So can you play us something?
I can just play something. I hope this is some Jimi Hendrix. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah. So we need to go up into the media center.
Ah yeah, now we need to connect it.
And we need to connect it. Searching. Here we go. Oppo R17 Pro.
So we stopped that. Yeah. Okay. Don't have
Bluetooth. Connect.
It's connected.
Connected.
So I just refusing to give him like all the stuff, but to my news, etc. So now it's here, so I can start the Jimi Hendrix song somewhere. Oh, it's already running, so I have to. So it's quite easy to set it up. So you don't have to wait so long. Yes, you have to do the second step, but that's normal and that's totally fine.
Because this was a new car, fresh, brand spanking new setup. So now I'm going to try to connect via Bluetooth.
So I will go out with my...
Well, we can leave it in and see how it does. Right, so I'm going to guess that it's this NA4327. So let's give that a whirl. I don't know. I've never tried to connect my phone before, so we're going to see. Okay, yeah, pair.
So the OnePlus accept.
Accept. I accepted. Is it more accepting?
Is more accepting?
Does that say? Oh yeah. Yes.
Yes. And now yes.
Here we go.
Now you are connected.
Now I'm connected. Now let me also go to Spotify and wait.
Do we have to connect it?
I'm going to play a podcast that I'm on. Let's see.
Oh, it's still...
It's still your music.
It's still your music, but I disconnected it. Okay.
All right. So let's see.
Oh, no, it's disconnected. Okay.
Do we have to go to media?
Yeah, I think you have to go
here,
to the...
and then...
you have to go to the
external devices.
And then the OnePlus.
Then choose the
okay.
OnePlus.
But it's nice that it gives you both.
Yeah, so because there's usually two people in the car, two different phones, two different systems. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Now let's see if I can play my podcast.
Coming up. No, it says it will not be.
He doesn't like my. She
it
said
doesn't like the. Doesn't like me. Just give it some music, maybe not the podcast. But it is
Most
connected.
beautiful songs in the world.
Here we go.
Okay, so it likes the most beautiful songs in the world playlist, but not my podcast.
It hates your podcast.
Good to know, Audi.
Thank you,
A4.
Audi. Yeah.
Thank you for that one. All right, so the next, that was actually relatively simple, connecting our native music to the system.
And what surprised me now that even I disconnected the phone, like physically disconnected, but it was still connected through the Bluetooth. So it does, like connecting it, when you're connecting it with a USB, it does this in the same moment. It also connected it to Bluetooth, which I didn't say. So that's a nice surprise.
It's true, because in other cars that I've tried connecting two different phones, it hasn't worked, which is unrealistic because there may be more than one passenger in the car.
Exactly.
All right, so now we're going to head into Navigational, right? So this is the typical Audi MMI that we've seen since the A8, or even a little bit older. But yeah, it's the navigation system here. Now, one of the things that I dislike about the A4 setup is because we have the one screen here. Now, below used to be another display where you could rest your wrist. So you could actually put your wrist down here and you could type, right?
On the display.
On the display, because the display was here.
No, you could write.
You could write.
Yeah.
You could write. We can still write on this display, but it's up here, right? So my arm is actually free float. Right? And this makes no sense to me. How are you supposed to write and drive?
Well, there are two things to it. So one thing is you have to be. First of all, you shouldn't drive and write.
Shouldn't drive
and use your navigation system. But we know in real world people do that. So what you can do is, we'll be coming to voice control later. What you can do is like you have to write. It is okay in like.
How it's recognizing the characters.
And then but I'm sitting now in a car and we're sitting stationary. We're not driving at the moment. So if I'm driving, maybe my arm goes up and down, and I'm looking around.
There's no anchor point.
Exactly. So it's a bit
stabilize the writing.
in the older versions, or in the A6, i7, you have these little dial down here normally, and you can write on the dial, which was, when you get used to it, was really perfect, because you just could rest your hand on the knob of the gear lever, and then you just roll. Oops, oh my God, I'm sorry. Well, these are these traffic things. So you can have you could write here, down here. That was really handy, because you could look and then you just could write, because you know how to make an A or a B, and you don't have to exactly, and you don't have to be like this or and yeah. So it's a bit strange doing it here.
And this is only problematic because the A4 is much smaller than the A7 and the A8, so the cockpit just has much less size. Now, we are picking on it 100%, but I understand why they've done it. I mean, logistically, I'm not sure where they would put a third display or a second display. And for Audi's perspective, they've moved forward with their infotainment system.
Compared to the old version of the A4,
so that they don't need the knob.
Yeah.
Right? Like the situation sort of evolved for them, where they're like, you know what, we're building a robust voice and touch experience, and we're moving away from the knob. But when they drop the second display...
Okay, it works also with voice control. So I can activate voice control, and it has also kind of semantic understanding. So I can activate voice control with a knob.
Wenn Sie den Online-Erkenner nutzen möchten, stimmen Sie bitte den Lizenzabkommen
I just have to
zu.
say to all the oilers and whatever. So can I use it now? Thank you. We haven't done that. No, it's back to that. Okay, we didn't want to go there. Ich bin hungrig. I have to say it in German because it's said in German. I'm sorry.
So he just said, I'm hungry.
But it's not reacting.
It's not
Die
reacting.
Ziele werden gesucht.
No,
Bitte
it's
warten Sie einen
reacting.
Moment.
Maybe it's also the connection is a bit slow because we're in the middle of the forest here. It's like German. This is hungry. Okay. Well,
Ich konnte leider keine Ergebnisse zu Ihrer Anfrage finden.
so yeah, he can't
Bitte nennen
find that. So I tried again. Restaurant. So.
Die Ziele werden gesucht.
Here we
Bitte
go.
warten Sie einen Moment.
I didn't say Sau, but I didn't say
Soll
pig.
ich die
Did I say pig?
Zielführung-
No, I didn't
No,
say.
you did not. You did not ask for a pig
No, I
restaurant.
didn't for a pig restaurant.
Although that's a very popular thing in this region. So maybe the system was like, you know what, you need to have some ham.
But you can say I have to stop that. But you can say like restaurant, or it normally works with I'm hungry or I'm something like that. So it has this kind of semantic understanding. So you can do that. But again, I mean, that's my thing with voice control in all situations, even on smartphones where it's more sophisticated. The thing is, it's not sophisticated enough to understand what I want. If I say I'm hungry, it just displays me some restaurants. This is not a critique to this particular system. This is a critique to all the systems, and it just gives me a list of restaurants, which is totally fine. But the thing is, I want maybe a selection. So I want maybe something like, okay, this is the restaurants around the corner, or this is an Italian restaurant, or something like that.
Let me give you an example for when we tried this yesterday when we were driving. I said I'm hungry, and it said, would you like to see some restaurants are on the route? Yeah. Great. Cool. Actually, it knows that we're driving to a location. But then it has this list, this big list of like restaurants, and then it's like, do you want this top restaurant put into the navigation route? I'm like, well, what is it? What is this restaurant?
Is it a good one? Is it a bad one?
Is it a good restaurant? Like, do I feel like eating Italian? Right? So it should say there's an Italian restaurant 4.5 miles away. It has a
I don't
rating
understand.
of this.
Yeah, and I don't understand why they're not teaming up. I mean, this is not about this particular system. Again, this goes to all manufacturers, like Mercedes, like Audi, like BMW. Like you don't care about what car. This is all the same. Because why don't they team up with Yelp or with other companies?
Mercedes has teamed up with Yelp.
Oh yeah,
so
they
you
did,
can
yeah,
see
exactly.
the Yelp
Yelp.
rating inside of the
Entertainment,
MBUX infotainment system.
And it makes sense.
And it totally makes sense. But the other thing is that we can see a Google icon right here on this display, and Google Maps has a fantastic rating system. Right?
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, if I no, I don't want that. If I'm looking for a restaurant,
R-E-S T-A-U R-A-N.
so does it search now on Google, or does it search on where? The connection is not good here, so anyway. Yeah. But again, I mean, why are companies not teaming up and giving you more information about what you are looking for? Again, if you're looking for a hotel, it could be the same. You're in a city, you've never been there before. You just type in hotel, and the car could provide you this information. And it would be also a way of making income for the car manufacturers. Like they could sell like the first 3 places and say, hey, if you want to be like on the top of the list, please give us some money. And if somebody types in hotel, we put you up there, for example. But that was navigation. Otherwise, navigation works fine, to be honest. We never lost connection, even here in the mountains.
And it was very accurate for when to make the turns. Like one of my problems with budget infotainment systems is I'm like, it's like turn right in 200 meters, make a U-turn, and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and so you just kind of the turns go past you, and the navigation system just hasn't really caught up.
Exactly,
So at least this one, in all of this spotty conditions through our beautiful drive, it always was very accurate. Yeah. So probably the most important part of a navigation system, the driving experience.
Exactly. So we have the connectivity, we have the other stuff. There is an app also for this car on the Android. We haven't looked up because we don't have an iOS device at the moment, but we have looked up in the Android. It doesn't have good reviews, to say it very carefully. people are not very happy with it, and because it's not working for a lot of people. And you can use some features on Samsung phones because Samsung has these, as you explained in the other video we made today, the Open API system. And some other don't work, so it's a bit like... But to be honest, we looked up also the apps from other companies. VW, BMW, and Daimler, and they were not much better ratings.
They definitely weren't much better.
There was one exception, and we will tell you about this in another video, in another story. Anything else you wanted to do with the...
No, I think that from an infotainment system perspective, those are probably the three most important. There is a phone apps section.
Exactly, but you use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. That says you get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in this car when you buy the big MMI, of course. You need that, otherwise it won't working. But you get it for free. If you have a BMW, even if you big entertainment system, you have to pay €300 for like 3 years or something for the Apple to use Apple CarPlay or Android
One of
Auto.
the reasons why I'm so into native infotainment systems, because I know a lot of people just throw CarPlay or Android Auto up onto these screens, but I'm a massive fan of the heads-up display.
Yeah.
Right. So it appears in the windshield, and I just love not taking my eyes off the road. I think it's just such a phenomenal experience to look at the screen and see and I think it's so much safer. If you use Android Auto or CarPlay, you can't use the heads-up display. So to me, this is the biggest reason why these guys need to have a more robust infotainment system, because I almost think that heads-up displays are the most key safety feature that should be included in all cars.
Right.
And you can only use it with a native infotainment system. So this is... Get on it, guys.
Do something.
Do something about this.
Otherwise, everything works fine. We did some test calls yesterday. Phone works fine. Of course, we lost connection once, but that was in a tunnel. But otherwise, it worked like a charm. People could understand me while I was talking to them. I could understand them very well. So, the ringtone was fine. So everything was working well.
But I was disappointed that when you took the phone call, the windows didn't automatically go up.
Yeah, but this is a decision. I mean, you can be sitting like we now here stationary, and then you take a call. And you just want to sit in the summer in a car with no aircon on. So I'm fine with that. I can close it manually. That's not the problem.
I wanted the windows to.
I mean, the other thing that maybe is, this is again a around 10-inch display, but to be honest, it could be a bit bigger. Yeah. I felt like, and this is like, but this is like, I mean, you couldn't do it because, or Audi couldn't do it because they would have like to change the whole dash. And this is not possible because this is not a new car. This is just a remodeled car. Not just a remodeled car, but it is a remodeled car. So you can't get like these kind of 15-inch displays that you have in a Volvo or in a Tesla.
Or having a display tuck into the dash.
Exactly. So that was not possible.
Before.
So I think they did the best possible
that they
version.
With sort of what they have. But at the same time, my bar's not going lower.
No.
Expectations.
And that's the thing. I mean, we were talking about it in the other video also. It's like, I mean, you get into a car, and I mean, you buy yourself a phone that costs you €500. This is a mid-range whatever phone, like or the OnePlus, which is like 600 or something.
700.
Or 700. This one,
I
okay.
have
That's expensive. Anyway, so you get a 500 to 700 phone. And you open it for the first time, and so you think, "Oh wow, this is like cool future, and it looks nice." You got a new €50,000 car, and you open up your display, and you think, okay, well, So it's just not like this kind of thing that you have when you get into a Tesla or even into a Volvo with a big display, where you can like also customize the whole display, and in the Tesla you can write things on it when you leave your dog in the
you can
you can customize. Okay,
you can sort of customize
but the thing is, in a Tesla, even when you leave your dog inside the car and you have your aircon on, you can write it on the display. the aircon is on, the temperature is blah, blah, blah. My dog is fine, so nobody smashes in the windows if you leave your dog for 5 minutes. So you can customize, you can do things with it. You can work with it. And this is just a thing where it just shows you stuff. And this is a bit like, this is like with all infotainment systems. You have to finish it.
One of the problems that I was coming across yesterday when we had to turn the volume down when it finally initializes was we wanted this to stop playing
the traffic,
the traffic.
So you have,
but it was so far deep into the menu. I was like into audio, then I was into the sound, I was into the music. And
it was hard to find.
It feels very file structure, right? Settings, file structure. Settings, file structure. Right?
And you can't. And the other thing is, you can't tell it like, "Hey, stop telling me the traffic stuff."
It's not intuitive enough for you to do voice control to even control most of the settings within this. And there's no like clear search page for how you would figure out where these settings are inside of it. So like overall, it just feels very linear in the way that it's constructed as well, when I feel that I should be able to interact a little more intuitively with it. So this is sort of one of my...
But this is a general thing that we were talking about, that the 400 or 500 phone looks better in terms of UX, etc., than a 50,000 euro car, or 35 or whatever. So, but this is a general problem with all, except Tesla, but this is a general problem with all the entertainment systems. But I think we're running out of time.
Yep, so be sure to check out our podcast.
Yeah,
we have one that goes up every week. If you're not subscribed to that, you can find that a link to that in the description below. We discuss a lot of different topics, like what's happening in the state of the industry. We picked on BMW a little bit a few weeks ago. We discussed last week where are all the affordable electric cars.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great topics. We only do videos like these when we're on drives.
Yeah, and you will find also the video for the test drive for the A4 also below here. So just also click on it. And that's it from our side.
Yeah, so this has been Dalhmann.
And Nicole Scott, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.